Hi, this is Richard from Pivot, and in this video you are going to learn how to install Starbucks' Configuration 3 water filtration unit. The Starbucks water filtration unit should be ideally placed in the back of house against a wall similar to here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is download your site preparation guide, which is a shop drawing that will tell you exactly where to position the first item, which is your pivot stub-out manifold. Your pivot stub-out manifold will look something like this. 1 water inlet, 3 water outlets, and all you need to do is have a tape measure to place this. From the bottom of the stub-out manifold to the floor, 92 inches. From the top of the stub-out manifold to the floor, 103 inches. Centered horizontally from where the water filtration unit is going to be. So the water filtration unit is 38 inches in length. This should be centered around 19 inches. So again, you're going to be centered from wherever the water filtration unit is going to be, mounted against the wall. There is slotted holes in the back. You're going to ideally want to have this mounted on at least one stud, and you're going to place this ideally 92 inches from the bottom to the floor, 103 inches from the top to the floor. There are 4 hoses that connect this, and that kind of dictates the distance of the height for this to the water filtration unit. When you receive your water filtration unit, it will be created similar to this one right here. You're going to want to remove it off the crate, you're going to want to take it off the pallet base, and then you're going to want to roll it to wherever your desired installation location is. Do not open up the water filtration unit, do not remove any of the contents from the water filtration unit. You will need that for both the installation and the startup and calibration. Now that you have your water filtration unit uncrated and moved to your desired operating location, your stub-out manifold is installed, and you have your city water line in plumbed to the stub-out manifold. You'll notice it's plumbed to that first position where you have a gauge and your shutoff valve. Make sure that line is pressurized. It has to be a minimum of 40 psi, and obviously make sure that valve is closed. In this step, you're going to install the sanitary hose, which acts as the drain line for the water filtration unit. The coil of 1/2 inch hose should be plainly visible once you open the door. This hose is approximately 15 feet long and is labeled as sanitary hose. Insert the hose into the John Guest fitting located under the rear of the unit. Gently pull back on the hose to confirm that it is firmly secured. Route the other end to a drain location such as a mop sink or floor drain. Trim the hose as needed and secure the hose. Roll the water filtration unit into its final operating position under the pivot stub-out manifold. The unit should have a 2-inch air gap between the back wall to ensure proper airflow. Lock the front wheels to secure the unit in place. Remove the 4 stainless steel hoses from the water filtration unit. The fittings on the bottom of pivot stub-out manifold correspond to the fittings on the top of the water filtration unit from left to right. Snugly connect a hose to each corresponding fitting using your adjustable wrench, being careful not to over-tighten them. These hoses have rubber seals inside of them and do not require Teflon tape. In this step, you're going to connect the water filtration unit to the electrical receptacle. This receptacle should be on a dedicated 15-amp circuit, which is not GFCI. Undo the Velcro straps on the power cord and feed the cord through the access hole in the base plate of the water filtration unit. Plug the water filtration unit into this receptacle. You will have about 10 feet of cord to reach. Confirm that the green light is illuminated on the power in module of the water filtration unit. Do not plug any of the equipment into the power in module, as this must wait until the startup and calibration. Well, this is the last step for installing your Starbucks water filtration unit. You're going to want to leave your first valve, which is the city water in valve, on your pivot stub-out manifold on the on or open position, and you want to leave the valve number 1 of the pivot internal manifold system in the closed or off position. You want to make sure that your water is pressurized to at least 40 psi, and this is to ensure that the next team, which is the startup and calibration team, they don't have to have a ladder to be able to get to that valve. Lastly, you want to leave everything else inside this water filtration unit. You should have only removed your 4 hoses to connect your water filtration unit to the stub-out manifold and the sanitary hose, and plugged in the unit. Everything else should remain inside the water filtration unit, which includes all your filters and all the boxes and the documentation, or the startup and calibration team will not be able to perform the startup. Thank you very much for watching the video.